Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Open Line, talking about the insanity plea. All of the details about how does that work in our criminal justice system. We have with us Dr. Kimberly Brown. She is the director of the forensic evaluation team at Vanderbilt Medical Center and has done some of the most high-profile cases, certainly in Davidson County. And we have some calls, so I'm going to go to the phones here, and then we have some more myths I want to go over. But let's go to Wilma here. Hello, Wilma.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Dr. Brown, I've got a couple little questions here. First off, Timothy McVeigh, I don't know what the law is in Oklahoma, but Timothy McVeigh was very paranoid of the government. He even claimed to have a chip in his behind, and that made him hate the government, plus a bunch of other stuff. But he was executed. I don't even think they even brought the insanity plea, but or defense. But maybe that's Oklahoma's law. But I'm trying to understand. You said that several states do not have an insanity plea, and I was just curious. In those states, can the state declare somebody insane and put them away? I'm just kind of curious how that works. And the other thing was, oh, Lord, well, there's a lot of noise going on here. But the other thing was, you're talking about people who have been treated for mental illness, and they have a history where you can refer to a case file. What about people that all of a sudden that appear to be, they go to work every day, they appear to be sane people, and then one day they snap, like the aerospace killers that brought the postal worker killers and all these people, these workplace killings where they were kind of like terrorized to the point that they just snapped. Is that not an insanity plea there? And I guess that's it. I'll listen to your response offline if you can backtrack any of this.
Wilma, thank you.
Yeah, those are really interesting questions. Thank you for those. So the 4 or 5 states that do not have an insanity defense, you asked if a judge can commit them directly to a hospital. So it would be specific to that state. They could commit them to a hospital by not guilty by reason of insanity, because that is not a verdict in those states. Some of those states have a verdict called guilty but mentally ill. Many people in the mental health community actually consider this to be kind of a sham verdict, because it doesn't really result in any different treatment than if you were found guilty. You're still sent to prison. You still have the mental health care that the other prisoners get. It's just sort of acknowledging that you had mental health symptoms at the time of the crime. So there are some other options for those mentally ill defendants in those states, but it would not be an insanity defense. It would be something different. The insanity defense is really, it's a defense of justification. It's saying that yes, the person did the did the crime, but they weren't in the right state of mind at the time. They couldn't appreciate the wrongfulness, and therefore they do not deserve punishment. So typically they are sent to a psychiatric hospital instead of prison. Now, your second question about people snapping. Okay, my experience is that this is actually a myth, is that people very rarely snap. And the ones who snap, I think, just get really angry and lose it. It's not a mental illness, right? It's not something that can qualify for an insanity defense. They lose control of their temper, and they choose a poor action out of anger or revenge or retaliation. And that is not an insanity defense. The people who do crimes that seem to be motivated by mental illness, usually when you look back in time, you can see the signs. You can see the red flags there. It's not like they were normal and all of a sudden the next day they're a mass murderer. So when we really look back at their history, even in the
We might have lost momentarily, I hope, Dr. Brown. And that's all very interesting. I'm wondering, this whole question about snapped, there was a whole TV show about that. And so I do want to ask her about that more closely. Why don't we take a break, see if we can reestablish our connection. And if you want to call in, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS. We'll be back right after this.